39. That's how many tournaments that are confirmed for the next season of OG Fortnite. 39 tournaments across 30 days, but not all 30 days. All different regions and no region lock potentially as well. So all of the news just came out about the Fortnite OG tournaments. So we'll talk about it really quick and explain it because I know that everybody in the world is going to be asking me tomorrow in the morning when we do our, our early stream for the Fortnite OG. So Epic just leaked out all of the OG Fortnite tournaments, I think by accident, because the link that was meant to show the rulings of all the OG Fortnite tournaments went live. Everybody tweeted about it, everyone talked about it, and then all of a sudden it mysteriously disappeared. So talking about that, we'll go through first what tournaments are running and what we can expect coming into the OG Fortnite season. So the first tournament starts on November 5th. That is when you're going to have your first ever Fortnite tournament in the OG Fortnite season. And that starts with different... Essentially, all of these OG Fortnite tournaments are split up into creator cups. Every region, OCE, Asia, Middle East, EU, Brazil, and NA Central, has a different creator that represents them. And some of the regions have multiple creators, and each one of them is hosting a specific OG skirmish in the OG Fortnite seasons. So this starts off November 5th then, so 2 days after the OG Fortnite season comes out, with Lackland's OG Skirmish Session 1 and Session 2. Now this is Battle Royale Duos, and then, I'm sorry for the pronunciation in advance, Dorian's Session 1 and Session 2 Asia Zilbo Duos, Sir Sans for Middle East, Amar, Jacob, Patriota, Ninja, and Eldad. As you can see here, on the first day already, we have a mix of all different sort of tournaments. We've got Battle Royale Duos, we've got Zero-Build Duos, we've got Zero-Build Squads for Middle East, and then Zero-Build Squads again for NA Central as well. So we have around, I believe, 8 tournaments on that specific day with all these different creators. On the day afterwards, on the November 6th, so that's going to be that Monday, you have, again, another Lackland tournament for Zero-Build Duos now, instead of Battle Royale. And then you have Battle Royale Squads for Asia, so squads are coming back guaranteed. Middle East, Amar's Duo for builds, Patriota, Ninja, Eldad, and it keeps going and keeps going and going. And then, for some reason, there's going to be another 11-day shift between those days. So, for what that seems like, it seems like more than likely that's when a lot of the map changes are probably going to come out, or something special in there. I'm not fully sure. Host all of these tournaments for the first week, take an 11-day break, and then have another 3-day session in terms of tournaments. So November 17th is then when tournaments continue, and then you have your OG skirmish sets for Asia, Middle East, EU, and then another Brazil for November 18th. You've got Asia, Middle East, EU, and then Brazil again. And then 19th is then the official last day of tournaments. Again, Asia, Middle East, EU, and then Brazil. Now, the weird thing about that is that after the November 19th, we have, again, a massive break in terms of tournaments. We have nothing for 14 days. We already got confirmation that OG Fortnite ends on December 3rd. So with it starting on November 3rd, we have exactly 30 days or 1 month of OG Fortnite, but we only have literally 5 days of tournaments all around the board, and in those 5 tournaments it's insanely packed. So I did the actual breakdown of how many actual tournaments we have hosted. So in total, there are a total of 39 tournaments across each 5 days. So in terms of splits, then that means we have 3 OC tournaments, 2 of which are Battle Royale Duos, and 1 is Zero-Build Duos. We've got 6 Asia tournaments. 4 of those are Zero-Build Duos, 1 of those are Battle Royale Duos, and 1 of them are Squad Battle Royale. 6 Middle East tournaments, then we have 2 times of those are Zero-Build Squads, 2 Battle Royale Duos, and 2 Zero-Build Duos. 6 Brazil tournaments again, with 3 of those being Zero-Build Duos and 3 of them being Battle Royale Duos. And then 12 EU tournaments. Let's go, baby. 6 of those being Zero-Build Duos, 5 of those being Battle Royale Duos, and 1 of those being Zero-Build Squads. And last but not least, NA Central has 6 tournaments, a measly 6. 2 of which being Zero-Build Duos, 2 of which being Zero-Build Squads, 1 of which being Battle Royale Duos. So only 1 duo tournament for NA Central is very crazy, and the 1 at Battle Royale Squads. So it seems like NA Central, Brazil, Middle East, and Asia all have the same amount of tournaments. EU's leading the pack with 12 tournaments in total, and then OC with 3 only. I don't think this has any sort of indication of what region's the most popular, how many people are playing specific regions. What it does seem like is that a lot more of the EU creators were probably interested in hosting OG Fortnite tournaments, because, you know, if we're looking at the names of the tournaments and who's hosting these tournaments, we're not seeing many big names in terms of the NA side, right? We only have Ninja, we don't have a Cypher PK tournament, for example. If we're looking at icon skins, we don't have a Clicks tournament. These are all OG Fortnite creators And I feel like there are more NA OG Fortnite creators, but they just haven't seemed to be getting involved here. So just seems like it's a spread of random creators that are more interested in hosting tournaments with Epic Games. Now, these are going to be in the Compete tab. I don't think these are third-party tournaments, as we've seen on other YouTube videos. And the reason why is because Epic doesn't really release rule sets for third-party tournaments. These rule sets are always for in-game tournaments. So these are tournaments you're going to be seeing in the Compete tab, and you can play them all around the entire season. Now, we're talking about region luck at the start, and looking at the way that these tournaments are structured, it doesn't seem like there is going to be any sort of region luck. Because if you look at it, each different tournament is an individual event, right? Compare that to last season. Obviously, if you're playing a duo cash cup, you have an EU, NA, Brazil, Oceania, Asia, and the Middle East duo cash cup, right? You have one event and you have 7 different regions, or 6 different, whatever the math, for each one of them. Here you have Lackland's OG skirmish, and then you don't have a version of that for EU, you don't have a version of that for NA. So technically each specific tournament is another event. A Lackland OG skirmish session 1 battle royale duos is not the same as an Amar skirmish battle royale duos, right? Those are 2 separate names, 2 separate tournaments. So it seems like region lock in OG Fortnite is going to be non-existent because they're all different events, which is very exciting because now all of a sudden we can all hit the 12 to 15 hour daily sessions of tournaments, starting with Asia 0 build, going to EU build, and then ending it off with NA Central 0 build as well. It's going to be hype. I'm super excited to see that because obviously I love to see the inter-region domination. We saw a lot of storylines coming through of EU teams dominating in NA Central. NA Central teams coming through an EU tournament and showing up in dual cash cup finals as well. It's going to be super, super sick. Now, some of the other important things that we need to look at for these specific tournaments as well is formatting and, of course, the prize pools. Now, for duos, so there are 2 different tournaments, right? There is duo 0 build and duo builds. The prize pools are going to be the same for each one of those. Except for the different regions. For EU and NA, 1st to 3rd place gets $500, 4th to 5th gets $400, 6th to 10th gets $300, 11th to 20th gets $250, and then 21st to 25th gets $200. Now, this isn't a tournament with a 2-round format. From what I saw in the rule set before it got taken down, it is a 1 session tournament. You have 3 hours to play, and after those 3 hours, whoever's placed highest on the leaderboard will get that prizing. So instead of getting top 50, top 45 being paid in duo tournament, it's now top 25, but you're wasting less of your time, or wasting, you know what I mean, like you're using up less of your time over 3 hours of an entire tournament. Now for Asia and Brazil, you get $500 for 1st to 3rd, so same as EU and NA. 4th to 10th gets $250, so it's a little bit less, and then only the top 15 get paid $200. And then for OC and Middle East, 1st gets $300, and the rest of them get $200 all the way to the top 10. Now for the squad tournaments, EU and NA both get $250 each for the squad tournament. So keep in mind, this is each, so each person gets $250, so that's $750, and that's $1,000 in total. Exactly the same as for duos. 4th to 5th gets $200, 6th to 10th get $150, 11th to 20th get $125, and 21st to 25th gets $100. For Asia and Brazil, $250, $125, and $100, and the OC and Middle East $150 per person. And then 2nd to 10th gets $100 per person as well. So pretty decent prize pools, all things considered, for quick and easy tournaments. And keep in mind, like I said, you can play multiple regions. So it's actually a lot better of a prize pool than you think of compared to your traditional solo cash cup and duo cash cup mixes per week. Because you can play 5 different tournaments per day, place 1st in EU build, and then get 3rd in EU NA Central 0 build, and all of a sudden you're making more money than a solo cash cup, solo victory cup, and a 0 build cup combined. So very cool formats. It's a little bit different, and it's definitely going to be entertaining to watch the different formats. And top of that, furthermore, the specific formats that they've brought out are the OG point formats. It's interesting concept, and they're really going all out with the OG concept. For duos, you get 10 points per win. 2nd to 5th you get 7, 6th to 10th you get 5, 11th to 15th you get 3 points, and each elimination is worth 1 point. So really, really going back to OG Fortnite vibes. Most notably, no island points and no tower points. There was some speculation that they may be coming back to OG Fortnite, but doesn't seem to be added to the formats here. And for squads, it's 15 points per win, 12 points for second, 9.6, 3, 1, and 3, and then 1 point per elimination. So that is totals, by the way. It's not like you're adding 10 and 7 points together. You get 10 points for winning. That's it. So it's gonna be very, very heavy W key formats. It's gonna be very interesting to see what gets dropped in there with the amount of explosives and everything else in the game. Should be a lot of fun to watch overall. So that's big news, right? We have no region lock pretty much. You can play all the tournaments. Prize pools are looking good. You're wasting less time. We get a bunch of fun, different interactive game modes. It's all looking very, very great. Now, there's a small thing that I'm actually curious about if we're looking at the actual names of these OG Fortnite tournaments. More specifically, on the first day on November 5th, we have 2 specific tournaments for EU Zero duos. We have Amar's OG Skirmish Session 1 and Session 2, and then Jacob's OG Skirmish Session 1 and Session 2 as well. Now, the interesting thing about that is they're both getting hosted on the same day, and they're the exact same format, but they're 2 different creators hosting that tournament. So I'm very curious to see what exactly entails for that specific tournament. For what I guess, it looks like it's probably going to be 2 different types of formats. So, for example, maybe Amar's tournament has specific items not in it, like an RPG, just naming things. And then Jacob's tournament might have Shockwave only, or Snipers only, or Shotgun only. I feel like this might fit in with the tweet that Epic made, Fortnite Competitive made before, about things being wild. Perhaps every single session has some sort of crazy rule set, which might make it a little bit more entertaining, a little bit more fun to watch as well. Other small things that just got leaked, not related to tournaments, of course. The pump is officially back, and it does 200 damage again. Lovely, great. Not much more has to be said about that. The trailer came out, was pretty cool too. Honestly, it's all stuff we already expected. OG Fortnite is going to look like OG Fortnite. It smells like OG Fortnite, looks like OG Fortnite, plays like OG Fortnite. It's OG Fortnite. Not really too much to leak about, but these tournaments, they're the ones that are going to be very, very interesting to watch for sure. If you're interested in that, or you have more questions about the actual format, I have read the entire rule set before it got taken down. I sort of remember it, sort of don't. But if you have questions, I'll be live at 9 a.m. Amsterdam time, 8 a.m. UK to watch the leaks and look at some OG Fortnite stuff. If you're interested in that, watch me on twitch.tv/CoachBoop. Have yourself a good rest of your night, and I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow. Good night.